Guys, and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and if you want to see more. Coming up, highlights and reports from the Monday night championship game between Barrow and York City Knights. It is now the time of year where Super League players can negotiate contracts with potential suitors or their current employers. And Ash Taylor announcement confirmed. So we start off by looking at Super League, as the current campaign is only 3 months old, but clubs are already looking towards the next season. That is because the May the 1st deadline has arrived, which allows players who are coming out of contract this year the freedom to negotiate deals for the 2023 season and beyond, whether that's with their existing club or elsewhere. It's an exciting moment for some as they can see what options are available, but nervous times for others as they may be left in limbo. Club chief execs and coaches are actually doing their calculations, whilst bearing in mind that the Super League all contracts must fit within the constraints of a salary cap. Negotiations may be going on behind the scenes, but it generally takes a while before deals are completed and announcements to be announced. There are some big names all around the Super League who will now be able to negotiate new deals for the club, with their new clubs or the existing clubs, if they shall wish to do so. While star hooker James Roby could call it a day at the end of it this year, as his contract, and has already called it a day for the Rugby League World Cup in England colours, it's the fact that his teammate Regan Grace, who is also coming to the end of his current contract, fans will be keen to hear of any developments over a player who'd been previously linked to a move to rugby union. Wigan will have to decide over the likes of Liam Farrell, Bevan French and Sam Powell whether to keep them on contract or not, while Warrington have the likes of Gareth Widdop, Jack Hughes and Stefan Rashford, just to name a few, off contract at the end of the season too. It's not a new thing that Super League have to cope with and Super League clubs have to do every single year to get the better squads than last year, and every club has the noticeables. I've just named those 3 at this point as they're probably the most highest profile. Don't get me wrong, Leeds have got a few to work out. Kicking machine Reece Martin is off contract at the end of the season, while Catalans have got to make plans over Michael McAlorum and Sam Tompkins. They're out of contract. Plus Castleford are going to be without Greg Eden, who's their try-scoring machine, if they don't sort him out as on a contract as soon as possible. It goes all the way down to the bottom as well, with Toulouse having Paul Marcon, who's been scoring quite a few tries recently for Toulouse, Anthony Marion, Elwar Pelissier for instance, Wakefield with Tom Johnson and Jacob Miller. There are causes for concern for fans and clubs alike, but it's time that they can start negotiating, which is a positive to begin with, as they'll know where they stand after it's all said and done. But it's also a negative, as they could be losing their prize assets, virtually nothing. We work our way into the Betfred Championship now, as we see Monday night's game played out between Barrow Raiders and York City Knights. Barrow come into the game in 6th place after the weekend's fixtures, as they are on 11 points from their 5 wins and 1 draw, and would see them to go above Batley into 4th place. York City Knights sit 3rd in the table, and if they win this game in hand, they are on 16 points and right amongst the top 3 marker. Barrow, though, have been without a win in the last 3 home games and lost their 2 away games as well. Granted, Jared starts for them despite the fact that he was carried off on a stretcher straight to hospital last weekend. Back in Maloudy's band, so Shaw and Wheeler are the centre pairing, Gary Wheeler and Ryan Shaw. Jack Wells is back on loan at the club from Salford. He had a good spell with the Raiders earlier this season, which saw him being recalled by his parent club, but now he's back at Barrow and starts from the bench. York have Brendan O'Hagan and Liam Harris at half-back, and even have Jamie Ellis back, but Jamie Ellis has to settle for a place on the bench. Matty Marsh will be a big threat from full-back, and the back three in the pack, Chris Clarkson, Danny Kermond, Jordan Thompson, are a threat to Barrow too, as they are highly regarded in the Championship as a unit. The first points of the game came on the hands of Barrow after Gillam gets Barrow into the 20-metre line with a fantastic offload, finding his fullback Creswell. Following that carry into the York's 10 by Brooks, he finds a gap for his outside runner, and he passes it to Anthony Iara, who goes over for the first try, despite the best efforts from Clarkson, but it was a great effort from the big Frenchman. Barrow were working their way out of their own half after a decent break by the centre got them up to the 40-metre line. The next play was their undoing, unfortunately. They worked the ball right and Langtree added to the line, and the tip on here was fielded by Brown, and the York wingers sprinted to score York's first points of the game. Unfortunately, the try was converted by Brown, and it was 6-all. Here is that try again. Samet started the play off and swinging the ball from right to left. Langtree tried to add some pace into it, but unfortunately the Barrow winger couldn't take it in. And after that, it was all that she wrote. No one was catching Brown at that time. Even Ritson tried his best to come across from the other wing. The next team with points on the board were York City, as some superb stuff saw the ball go from the right to the left edge, with Marsh being heavily involved. And with Ogden running a decoy line, it was Clarkson who gets the ball out to Oakes for an easy finish in the corner. This gives York the lead for the first time in the game, but unfortunately Harris's touchline kick misses the mark. Barrow come roaring back though. The ball comes into the hands of Samet after a great tackle puts Barrow on their back foot, and on that left edge it is a reverse kick by Samet, who finds Creswell running through with a fantastic dot down try for Barrow to get the lead again as Samet adds the extras. Let's have a look at that kick once more. Samet just sees the gap and he puts it on his right foot, and despite the despairing dives from York City defenders, it is Creswell who comes up with the 4-pointer. Brave and tough at the same time. On the reverse angle, hit perfectly right down the camera lens. York are next in the try-scoring pomp as they see that Liam Harris sees that there's no fullback at home on the 31st minute and chips kicks behind the line, which gives Matty Marsh the opportunity to catch the ball and run to the try line unopposed, which Harris adds the extras to for 12 points to 16. 12 points to 16 turns to 12 points to 20 after Jordan Thompson crashes over from short out after a great line from Jupp sees the pass taken over for 4 more points to extend the lead of York, which is converted by Harris, for 22 points to 12 on the 38th minute. So that was the scoreline at half time. And we finished today with the news that New Zealand Warriors pre-season signing Ash Taylor has decided to retire from rugby league. This is due to a chronic hip injury that has prematurely ended his rugby career. Aged at just 27, the one-time boy wonder announced the decision to a large media audience on a Zoom call from the club's base at the Moreton Daly Stadium in Redcliffe today. Before facing the media, Taylor was said it had been a tearful experience telling his Vodafone Warriors teammates and staff about calling time on his career this morning. He prepared and delivered an impressive retirement speech via the media call. I knew my time in the game was coming to a standstill after playing my recent match against the Titans and going to the park next day, he said. I couldn't stand up to play with my children. I was in pain and gradually declining. It was coming to the stage where I could see opportunities in training and games, but my body physically and especially my hips couldn't do what my mind was telling me to do. It was hard on me and could have been frustrating for my teammates. Taylor then said he was deeply grateful for the support he had enjoyed from his partner, children, extended family, and his friends. To all three clubs I've been a part of, the Broncos, Titans, and Warriors, thank you for giving me the opportunity to represent the club across the board. I've enjoyed every moment of my career, he said. To all the players and coaches I've crossed paths with at the clubs, thank you for shaping me into the person I am today. This has all happened quickly, but I can't thank the Warriors enough for the way they've handled my situation. They have had me and my family's interest at heart. There were murmurings from the weekend that Ash Taylor was going to announce his retirement due to injury, but these were all just speculation, and this now has confirmed everything that the rumours had to say. So this year, after joining the Vodafone Warriors on the train and trial contract later this year, Taylor was upgraded to a full-time deal in January, but was able to make just one appearance for his new club. Ironically, his 116th and final career game and sole outing for the Vodafone Warriors was against his former club, the Gold Coast Titans, at his old home ground, Cebus Super Stadium, on March 19th, 2 days after his 27th birthday. He ended his Gold Coast career with 16 appearances last season as the club made the finals for just the fourth time, and the first time since 2016. He made his NRL debut with the Brisbane Broncos in 2015 before joining the Titans in 2016, which saw him net the Daily M Rookie of the Year medal. While only playing one game for the Brisbane Broncos back in 2015, his NRL debut, it was 2016 move to Gold Coast Titans where he appeared for them for 114 games and scoring 18 tries. He kicked 130 goals during that period, as well as kicking 3 field goals, resulting on him having 327 points in his NRL career. He also represented the Indigenous All-Stars in 2017, where he played one and scored 1 try. We go into the second half, and despite the lack of point scoring that happens during this half, there is no lack of entertainment. T. Ritson's break is fantastic to get Barrow out of their own 20 at one point, but there is no point scoring for almost 20 minutes. And it's Barrow who are on top. They weren't the first point scorers of the half though. That came to York as after sustaining the constant bombardment of their try line. Liam Harris is on their Barrow try line at dummy half, and he burrows his way over for the first try of points of the half for 26 points to 12, which he converts to make 28 points to 12. It is not until the 73rd minute where we see the next points, and then they are again for York, as a penalty goal is converted by Harris due to an infringement coming off the back of a Barrow dropout. 30 metres out, no problem for Harris. But the last say of the game goes to Barrow, as a ball sweeping from right to left sees that the Gary Wheeler crash over in the corner. Jared Samet kicks a fantastic goal to make it 18 points to 30, but that's how the game ends, and York keep the pressure on the top two. And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share this video worldwide, as well as clicking that nice little notification bell for any updates of stories that may be coming your way. Tell me what your thoughts are of today's episode, as we brought you some good stories. It's a shame about Ash Taylor, but it was coming, unfortunately to say. I think that's why Gold Coast got rid of him, I'm afraid. Due to injuries that he sustained at the end of the season. He wasn't going to be the total package, but he was going to be a good backup for New Zealand Warriors. Super League, there are changes afoot. Some big names there that are due to be released, or it's in a good position for contract negotiations. Evan French leaving Wigan, Stephen Rashford, Liam Farrell even. Could you see any of those leaving? Bevan French has had these issues over the summer. Unfortunate bereavement issues, should I say. Not of his own making. Which seen him want to go back to Australia, and Wigan were able to do that. But now this frees him up to go back. I hope he continues his good form in the strike force that is him, Jai Fields and whoever else wants to join them, whether it's Liam Marshall or anyone else. Brilliant. Anyway, and finally, York. Did they have a chance at the playoffs? They've shown some really great heart in that defence of Barrow. They were tested. Barrow have got some good offensive play, but as the commentary said last night, it's one out, I'm afraid. Needs a bit more team structure. Defense as well needs a little bit of work, but they've only just got promoted, so establishing themselves in the championship this year, which they are going about doing, is always a good thing to do. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide. I will see you in the next one. I wish you all the best, stay safe, and bye for now.